The psalmist this morning said, pointless, pointless, pointless. Unless the Lord builds the house, unless the Lord protects the gates, pointless, pointless, pointless. And I expect that if that psalmist was here in this sanctuary this morning at this time, they would say something like, unless the Lord leads the music. We've heard a lot of music today, but if that's all we are, we're pointless. We took an offering this morning. If that's all we are, we're pointless. Pointless, pointless, pointless. I don't know about you, but I think all of us sometimes feel a little pointless. We feel like our life isn't all that fulfilling. We feel like the job that we worked in or the job that we're working at just doesn't meet those things inside us that fill us with joy and happiness. We think that we can't make a difference. Every time we have a natural disaster and we come to church, or we have a mass killing and we come to church and we pray about it and we talk about it and we feel like we're not doing anything. That it's even pointless to bring it up. How are we going to change these things for just one person? The next time the bells ring, the only person that's going to play is Janet. Now, Janet is really good. She's the only one in the bells that can play four in hand. That means two bells in, well, she might not be the only one, but she does it really well and really often. So she can play four notes, the rest of us can barely play two. But Janet's going to be the only bell ringer. Will it be very much of a bell choir? The next time we come together, the praise team is only going to have Mary. Mary sang a beautiful solo this morning in the Potter's Hand. But Mary, you're not going to have drums, you're not going to have bells, you're not going to have anything except you. Well, that might still be beautiful, but it won't be the praise team. Choir, next time it's just going to be, let's see, who should I pick up? And it's not going to be much of a choir. But have you heard beautiful music this morning? It came out of this little bitty church right here. We're not a church of 1,000 or 2,000 or 10,000. But we had great music this morning because some people worked together and because it was done in the name of the Lord. If it hadn't been done in the name of the Lord, it wouldn't be worth anything. Our worship wouldn't be worth anything this morning. Our commitment to justice and peace and equality doesn't mean anything if it doesn't come from that place in our lives where the Lord dwells. We can't build this house, and I'm not talking about this building, I'm talking about this church. We can't build this house, but there is one who can. There is one who's willing to. There is one that's waiting on us to say, come in and build us anew. And that one is the Lord. That one is the Spirit. That one is the Son. That one is the Christ. That one is part of all our lives, but sometimes we split apart and we don't pull together. Sometimes we've got one person working over here and another working over here and another working over here, and the only time that works is at the bazaar. And don't ask me how that works. But, for 35, 40, 50, however long it's been going on, it's working. And it's still working. Unless the Lord builds the house, unless the Lord protects the city, unless the Lord blesses our work. Now, that last one was the one that got me. Because it was one about working really hard and getting very little sleep. Do you ever feel like that? You're working really hard and you're just not getting any sleep? And you keep working and you keep working and you keep busy and you keep doing and you just can't get any sleep because your mind won't shut off and you're churning on this. How can I make this go better? How can I make this work better? How can I eliminate that thing that has failed? And as soon as we get up in the morning, we get right back at it and we fix that, and it didn't fix anything. Because we left somebody out. And whether it be at church or in our work or in our school or wherever it is, unless the Lord is the source, unless God is the source of our being, of our study, of our work, of our retirement, of our worship, it's pointless. Pointless. In a moment, we're going to bring our estimate giving cards, at least some of us are. We're going to drop them in this basket, which I'm going to move over to the middle. This act is an act of worship and an act that says, I hope that I will be able to participate in this church's life in this way next year. Notice I said hope. These estimate of giving cards are that, estimates. You're not pledging to do this. You're saying, if I am able, this is what I'm going to do. And why do we do this? Well, we do this because the act of coming down the aisle is an act of worship. It's an act of worship, which makes it not pointless, which makes it very important. You see, it's not just important to those of us who drop envelopes in this basket. It's very important to all of us who see that it's not me alone. There's not just one of us doing here. It is all of us together that go about the work of God in this place, from this place, into this community. And because we are built by the Lord, nothing we do is pointless. Everything we do is important. Now, how do we know that it's going to work? It's going to work because God is never pointless. God is always faithful. And we can count on God being in this community at 8:30, at 9:30, at 10:45, and at 5 o'clock on Sunday. And we can count that God is going to be in this community every minute in between those. And every minute in the next days. Because our foundation is built on that solid rock. And the God that we worship is a God of faithfulness. Our hymn is number 86. Great is thy faithfulness.